Hi guys, and welcome back to TomTalks. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Today, we're doing another football video. Been a while since I've done one of these, but it's a big day because England have announced the World Cup squad. Now, in terms of the tournament, it is a shambles, it's corrupt, it's in a country that doesn't give a shit about its workers, that is massively homophobic. There is a lot of issues with this World Cup, and initially I was considering not even watching it, but England has said they will wear the One Love badge. There's like Denmark are not showing the sponsors, so there are some countries who are actually saying like, yeah, these guys are dickheads, so we're gonna say you and say something about it. So now I feel okay watching England and other teams. Don't feel excited though, just because of the fact that gay fans can't go there, really. Hope lessons are learned from this, is all I can say. Let's get into the squad after all that lovely talk. The goalkeepers, Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, Aaron Ramsdale, no qualms. Pickford has been very good for Everton. He was fantastic at the end of last season and he's always good for England. Nick Pope has been fantastic for Newcastle. And Aaron Ramsdale has been great for Arsenal. I could see any one of these guys being our number one. I imagine it probably will be Pickford, but, you know, they're all very good quality goalkeepers. Not like world class or anything. I wouldn't say any of them are world class, but they're all very good goalkeepers. Defensively, so the ones I'm happy with, Kyle Walker, apparently he's fit. That's good because he can play at centre-back and at right-back. He's a leader in the team. John Stones, I don't think John Stones is an amazing defender, but he's one of the better centre-backs we have. And he's got experience. Kieran Trippier has been fantastic for Newcastle, and he's always pretty good. And he can play right and left-back, which is going to be crucial. Luke Shaw is kind of in there by default, but I think he has improved a little bit this season at Manchester United. And because of the injury to Ben Chilwell, kind of have to. Trent Alexander-Arnold. I know Trent hasn't been great for Liverpool this season, but he is a fantastic player. He brings something different in the right-back position. And, I mean, if really necessary, I don't think it will happen, though. He could play in midfield, I guess. Connor Cody has been pretty good for Everton. He's a solid centre-back, and I think he's good in that position. And Ben White, I think, has been pretty good for Arsenal this season as well. And again, he has that sort of versatility of being able to play right-back and centre-back. Now, the controversial ones. We'll briefly touch on Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer, I guess, has been a little bit better for Tottenham, but Tottenham have been exposed many times this season in defence for me. And I don't think Eric Dyer is good enough, personally. I know he has experience. I know he's played in tournaments before. I personally don't rate Eric Dyer that much, and I probably would have left him out. But I can kind of understand, even if I disagree. Harry Maguire, I knew this was going to happen, but I'm still pissed. And as a Man United fan, I think I can talk about this because Maguire is shocking. He doesn't even get in our team. I think he's fourth choice now. He's behind Martinez, Varane and Lindelof. He's not a good centre-back. I mean, he's okay, I guess. He takes the ball forward well, I guess. He has experience, but he's not good enough. Maguire's just, he's not good enough. He shouldn't be in this team. He really shouldn't. He just shouldn't. And I hate that Gareth Southgate has picked him because, oh, he's one of my friends and yeah, I like him. Yeah, well, you don't pick players because you like them. You pick them because they win games. Roy Keane is an arsehole, but he was a fantastic central midfielder. I mean, if we look at the defenders here, I mean, Fikayo Tomori, he's just won Serie A with AC Milan. He's playing in the Champions League. Why has he not been picked? I don't understand. He's been very good. He's playing in, as I said, a Champions League side who have just won their division. And Serie A, you know, there is quite a few decent teams in there. Yes, it's not the quality it used to be, but he's still won a league title there. Mark Guehi, he's been very good for Crystal Palace. I don't understand how he's not made it into the team, to be quite honest. I probably even would have put Tyrone Mings in there ahead of Maguire. I don't think Mings is very good, but he is at least playing week in, week out for Aston Villa. Maybe even take Tyrick Mitchell as another left-back option and tell Maguire to get lost. Yeah, Maguire should not be there. And then obviously Reece James is injured, so he couldn't be there. But Maguire, I would probably have put Gehi and Tamora instead of Maguire and Dyer. Maybe even Mitchell as another like left back option. But yeah, it's a farce, really. It really is. Midfield, Jordan Henderson. I don't think he's the player he once was, but he's still a leader in that team. I still think he could do a good job, and he's still Liverpool's best midfielder at the moment. Declan Rice, I know West Ham haven't been great this season, but Declan Rice has continued to shine. He's a fantastic CDM, and he will do his job for England. Mason Mount has improved again under the new manager, Graham Potter. And he was fantastic at the end of last season. He's a fantastic midfield player. Jude Bellingham has been brilliant for Borussia Dortmund. He's a fantastic young talent. He could probably become one of England's best ever midfielders if he continues. I mean, the lad's only 19, and he's like playing week in, week out for a Champions League team, and he's a fantastic player. But there's two in here that I'm a bit about. First of all, Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher is a good player. I think he's decent. I think he was good for Palace, and he's been decent at times for Chelsea, but I don't know. I'm not fully convinced by him, and I probably wouldn't have picked him personally. And I feel like the fact he plays for Chelsea has probably helped him here. I would have gone for Conor Gallagher, though, personally. But the one that annoys me the most, well, it doesn't annoy me, but I think Calvin Phillips does not have enough match fitness to be in this team. He came on in the League Cup against Chelsea yesterday, but for me, no, he's not match fit enough. He shouldn't be here. He's not match fit enough. And some people say, oh, but what about Jordan Henderson at the last tournament? Yeah, I guess, but Jordan Henderson had been injured for like a couple of months, whereas Phillips has barely played this year at all. And Henderson is a much better player than Phillips is. Don't get me wrong, Phillips is a good player. I think he did very well at the Euros last time to fill in when Henderson was injured. But I don't think he should be here. I don't think he's fit enough. And fitness is going to be very important at this tournament because a lot of players have been injured. But yeah, I'm not sure about Calvin Phillips. James Ward-Prowse, for me, I feel sorry for him. I think he has been the shining light in that Southampton team. I think he's a very talented player. And I probably would have put him in ahead of Gallagher, to be quite honest, personally. For the other CDM, I can't think of one off the top of my head who could have filled that position, but I don't know about Calvin Phillips, personally. I guess we've had to take him by default because we don't have enough CDMs who can play in that position. There is other talented midfielders in attacking positions like Eberechi Eze, for example, for Palace, but we have too many attacking midfielders, so yeah, it's one of them ones. And finally, onto the strikers. Harry Kane is captain. He's still the top goal scorer. He definitely deserves to be there. England's top scorer of all time now, I believe. Or he's on his way to it. I'm not 100% sure. Marcus Rashford. He wasn't very good for United last season, but he's come back leaps and bounds. I think he's a very good player, and I definitely think he could be helpful. Bukayo Saka, very, very talented player, fantastic for Arsenal. He definitely deserves to be here. Phil Foden is obviously a very talented player as well. Great player for Manchester City. And James Maddison, thank God James Maddison's here. I was a bit worried because he's not really been in the squad much, but Maddison is a fantastic player. He has been like the heart of that Leicester City team this season, and he's been everything that's been good about it, so I'm glad he's here. But there's three interesting ones actually. First of all, Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson has been very good for Newcastle. He's a pretty good striker, but I think there was a bit of iffiness between him and Tammy Abraham. I personally probably would have gone for Tammy Abraham because I think Abraham has a little bit more experience as not only an England player, but he plays in Italy for Roma, so he's used to playing against different teams in Europe, whereas Wilson isn't. And I think Abraham is a better player just about than Wilson. I think Wilson's a very good goal scorer. Abraham, I think, is a better player overall. And I think Abraham is unlucky to miss out. But Wilson is a good goal scorer. I think he could be somebody you could bring off the bench to sort of just get in the box, put the ball in the net, so to speak. Raheem Sterling has not been good for Chelsea this year, let's be honest. He hasn't. He was the star of the last tournament for England. Well, one of the stars. And he was good for Manchester City, but for Chelsea, he's not been on form. But that Chelsea team in general has been a bit... I'm not mad at it because I think Sterling is a good player still, and I think around better players he will play better. But Mr. Jack Grealish is here, and I disagree personally. Jack Grealish has not been good enough for Manchester City. He's not elevated his game the way I and others potentially may have thought he would have done. I don't know. He is a good player. There is a good player in there, and I think he can bring something different to the game, I guess. But I don't know. I'm not sure he should be there because I don't think he's been good enough to be in the England squad, to be honest. And if we look at the other players who've missed out, as I said, Tammy Abraham. I don't know why Abraham hasn't been called up. I kind of feel bad, to be honest. I think he should be in there. Jared Bowen. Bowen, I think... Put Bowen ahead of Grealish, I'm not sure. I thought he was fantastic for West Ham last season, but this season he's been part of a side that sort of dipped in quality, so I guess he's missed out there. Ivan Toney, I understand. He's not played for England before. He's a very good striker, but I would pick Wilson ahead. And Ollie Watkins, I mean, he's not been particularly great for Aston Villa this season. Oh, just had a look. Harry Kane is 2 off Wayne Rooney's record, so he could beat it this tournament. Overall, who would I pick as my starting 11? I'd probably go with Pickford in goal, personally. I'd go for 4-3-3 personally. That's sort of my favourite formation, I guess. I'd go with Walker, Stones and Ben White at the back. And then I'd have Kieran Trippier on the left. I'd probably then have Declan Rice in that CDM role. And then ahead of him, I'd have Bellingham and Mount, personally, as like the 2 attacking players. And then up front, I would have Saka on the right, Kane down the middle, and this might be controversial, I'd have Rashford on the left because Phil Foden, I feel like, plays better in the midfield, personally. And I think Rashford plays better on the left. Actually, let me have a think. Actually, no. Mason... No, I'm going to stick with Mount and Bellingham in midfield, and I'm going to stick with like Saka, Kane and Rashford. I think the pace of those two, and I think Rashford will make those runs. Kane is very good at finding people as well, and I think he will find Rashford there. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Probably a bit controversial, the starting 11, maybe. White over the others. I think Ben White is probably the best defensive player out of the other centre-backs. Cody's very good, but White, I think White, because he's playing week in, week out for like the top division side, I'm just going to go for White over Cody, I think. And then, you know my thoughts on Dyer and Maguire. Dyer and Maguire. I mean, says it all really in the name. Dyer and Maguire, they both rhyme as well. Those are my thoughts on the England squad. Overall, there is quite a few there that are a bit... especially Maguire. But what are your thoughts on the England squad? Let me know in the comments. And tell me what you'd change. But until next time, this has been another TomTalks.